Okay, do you ever feel like you're in this constant battle with your own mind? Like you're stuck under this heavy blanket of anxiety or dread? Well, first things first, you are certainly not alone. And what if I told you that that feeling stuck isn't a life sentence? It's actually a pattern that your brain has learned. And the good news is, anything that was learned can also be unlearned. In this video, I'm going to share some simple science-backed techniques to help you retrain your brain, ditch that daily weight, and truly ignite your inner strength. So I'm Natalie, Community Manager and Coach at Reorigin. And Reorigin is a science-backed program that helps people retrain their brains to reclaim their health. And at Reorigin, we've helped thousands of people move from survival mode to genuine calm and confidence using the exact principles that I'm going to walk you through. That feeling of stuck is so real. It's the exhaustion from overthinking every single decision, the emotional drain of your own thoughts, and that sense that you're living life on high alert. This happens when your brain gets locked into threat detection mode. It's almost like having a smoke detector that's so sensitive it goes off from one piece of toast. This overactive alarm makes normal, everyday situations feel really threatening, and it keeps you in this state of constant stress. But there is hopeful truth. You have the power to recalibrate that alarm. The solution is actually rooted in a concept called neuroplasticity. And neuroplasticity is simply the brain's incredible built-in ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural connections. And it can be done throughout your entire life. It means that your brain isn't fixed in stone, but it is adaptable. And research suggests that conditions like anxiety are often linked to the brain getting stuck in negative and rigid patterns. By intentionally using simple techniques, you can physically encourage your brain to build new, healthier pathways. This isn't just a feel-good idea, it's actually grounded in science. Studies show that cognitive training and lifestyle changes can lead to improvement in brain function and even structure, helping to counteract the patterns that anxiety and depression can actually reinforce. I'm going to guide you through a few powerful techniques to do exactly that, helping you to build lasting emotional strength. Okay, so how does this actually work? Well, imagine your thoughts are like paths in a forest, and every time you have an anxious thought, you walk down that same path. Over time, the path becomes wide, clear, and really easy to travel down. It becomes your brain's default route. The more you use a neural pathway, the more automatic that response becomes. And this creates what psychologists call the anxiety loop. It kicks off with a worrying thought, which triggers a real anxious feeling and physical sensations. That could be something like a racing heart. And to get relief, you might avoid the situation or overthink it way into the ground. And this gives you that moment of relief, but it also reinforces to your brain that that initial trigger was genuinely dangerous. So the next time, your reaction can feel even faster and even stronger. The cycle just feeds itself and you get completely trapped. But neuroplasticity is how we grab that machete and start clearing a new path, one that leads to calm, controlled responses instead. The best part? Breaking the cycle doesn't require a personality transplant. It just requires a little bit of practice. So here are 3 simple techniques that you can start using today to carve out those new neural pathways. First up is mindful recognition. When an anxious thought pops up, instead of fighting it or immediately believing it, just notice it without judgment and label it. There's the thought that I'm having that I'm going to fail my presentation. Or perhaps, okay, I'm having this feeling of dread right now. The simple act of naming it helps create distance. It engages the more rational thinking part of your brain, the prefrontal cortex, which helps to calm down your brain's fear center, the amygdala. So you shift from being in the emotion to observing the emotion. And this practice weakens the thought's power and stops it from kicking off into the full anxiety loop. Second is ask the refocus question. When your mind is spiraling with the what ifs, interrupt that pattern by asking, what is one thing that I can focus on right now that is within my control? This question is a game changer because anxiety loves to feed on a feeling of powerlessness over the future. And by bringing your focus back to one small manageable action, taking a deep breath, tidying a corner of your desk, or sending one email, you shift your brain out of threat mode and into problem-solving mode. You're not ignoring the feeling, you're just simply redirecting your brain's powerful energy towards something productive. which then helps to weaken that old, worn-out anxiety path. Third, use intentional visualization. Here's a wild fact, right? Your brain can have a surprisingly similar response to an experience that you vividly imagine, as it does to one that's actually happening. You can totally use this to your advantage. Just close your eyes for 60 seconds and visualize a time where you genuinely felt strong, calm, or capable. Recreate that scene in your mind. So what did you see? What did you hear? And most importantly, what did that feeling of strength feel like in your body? By intentionally practicing the feeling of calm and control, you're giving your brain a blueprint for an alternative to that fear response. Think of it as a rehearsal for resilience, making it easier for your brain to access that state when you really, really need it. I get it. When you're weighed down by anxiety, it can feel like your own mind is the enemy, but it is not. Your brain isn't trying to sabotage you. It's actually just trying to protect you based on old information that it's learned along the way. And the key is to realizing that you can teach it a new and more effective way to live by using mindfulness recognition, asking the refocusing questions, and practicing intentional visualization. You aren't just coping, you're actively rewiring your brain. You're carving out new paths in that forest. And it takes time and it takes repetition and consistency, but change is always possible. You have the ability to move from a life dictated by fear to a new one guided by your own inner strength. So if this video resonated with you, please give it a like and subscribe for more content on harnessing your mind's power. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Share one small step that you'll take this week to begin retraining your brain. And don't forget, if you're ready to go deeper, check us out at reorigin.com, where we teach these exact techniques in a structured, science-backed way to help you rewire symptoms of anxiety, fatigue, and emotional overwhelm at the root.